been more than 2 months since a number of independent pharmacies and other local businesses were looted in North Philadelphia, as you see in this surveillance video here. And CBS Philadelphia has been committed to following these businesses. And this morning, we're returning to get a look at the recovery process for the owners and what they need to continue to keep running. CBS News Philadelphia's Wakisha Bailey joining us live from inside of the Just Here Pharmacy in North Philadelphia with more. Good morning to you, Wakisha. It's been a tough go for a lot of these business owners.
Yeah, good morning, Janelle. And you know what? It doesn't seem like it's getting any easier. As you mentioned, we're in North Philadelphia, Just Here Pharmacy. And joining us this early morning, well before you open, is Mr. Charles, who's actually the pharmacy manager here. And I'm going to have to get right to it. We've been seeing the images of the looting from, back in September. But you mentioned that that was not the first time you were looted. How many times has your store been targeted?
This is the third time.
Third time?
Yeah, third time. The first one was during the George Floyd case. Yeah, they came in, they broke inside. Yeah. And the second one was last year.
Wow.
Yeah, they followed the pharmacy and the technician that day inside. I think they parked their car outside waiting for someone to enter.
Wow.
So they followed them and then put gun at gun points. And then,
This was during the second time.
Yeah, the second time.
So just to reiterate, you're saying that during the second time that your store was targeted, the actual people, the intruders, had a gun and they pulled it out on your technician?
Yes, a technician, and then the pharmacy was working with, with her that day.
And just to hear that story as to how violent this got, we actually have the pharmacy technician who is actually here as well, Christabel. Thank you for joining us this morning, and I know it's not easy to recap that story, but your manager just said that a gun was pulled out on you.
Right, a gun was pointed at me. So it was early morning around 9 a.m. That's our actual time that we opened the pharmacy. So right after we got inside, there was a guy that followed me. So it was a hood on the head. So I thought it was actually our driver, because most of the time that is how he dressed. But they just pulled out inside. There was a gun on my head asking us for the hard meds. That was actually my first time seeing like a real gun on my head. They actually stepped on my back. They pulled a gun and they were using the gun to hit my head, myself and the pharmacist that I was working with. It was really traumatized situation at that day.
Now, that was a separate incident by itself and not necessarily a part of the first or the second time or the third time that you guys were looted, correct?
Correct. So that was actually the second time that we were being looted.
Wow. And what time did that happen?
That happened around 9 a.m. and the scene took around 20 to 25 minutes.
Mr. Charles, I'm going to come back to you only because, the obvious question that many people would ask is, why would you remain open and stay here on North 22nd Street?
Basically, we consider, first of all, the owner. I'm not the actual distant. Right. When the owner passed away, the family called me to come and help them. Yeah. So, and I knew the guy long time. So I sometimes think about myself, putting myself in their shoe, especially with the 3 children. Young. So that's most of the time that motivates me. Secondly, the community. There are a lot of elderly people that always call, especially when they speak to Nana. They know her name, she know their voices, right. So it's also keep me going, because we really like, who is going to save them? And mostly when something like happen like that, they always call and say, why did they do that? Why did they do that? They want you guys to move? Right. And where are we going to get our medications? Because we deliver most of them, especially the elderly people. Wow. And there are some people too that they come in and pick them in. So that's another thing that we consider.
Mr. Charles and Christabel, I appreciate you both being so vulnerable with us this morning and sharing those stories. But that is just some of the stories here on North 22nd Street with a lot of these businesses are going through. And as we're just walking through this store, the front of the store is completely empty and they refuse to restock it because they don't know what could happen in the future. Sending it back to you in the studio.
My goodness, just hearing her recount that, being held at gunpoint, just so traumatizing. I can only imagine for her. And the fact that it not only affects the business, but the people in the community as well, to your point, Wakisha.
But staying because it's such a vital service.
Absolutely.
Wakisha, thanks so much.
Yes.